Hello and welcome to this guide to the Dragons of Wrath of the Lich King. We will be starting with Sartharion. The whole instance is linked to the boss, so if you don't want to clear all the trash, you will have to pull the boss without misdirection and then feign death when you're sure that your pet has some aggro on the boss. If you're doing Sartharion with 3 drakes up, whether it be for the mount, for the achievement, or because it's the fastest way to kill the instance, then you will only have 85 seconds before the boss becomes immune and you end up wiping. After a few seconds, Tenebone will land. Simply misdirect him to your pet, and in your all ads, you will want to continue to focus on Sartharion. Once Sartharion reaches about 30% health, the Drake will enrage and start hitting a lot harder. If you simply blow quintuple a stand, your pet will have absolutely no problem surviving. There's also an achievement that requires you to avoid all lava waves. It's not very hard, but it bugs sometimes, so I actually had to do it twice personally. Finally, don't stand behind him because he has a tail lash, and if you want to kill some drakes for any reason, remember that you can always kill them in 10 men and then return in 25 men for Sartharion. Next up is Malygos. Like all dragons, he has a frontal breath attack and a tail attack, although the tail attack is the only one that's actually annoying. He will also create a vortex that will dismiss your pet. Simply keep on hitting him and feign death once your pet has respawned and taken a little aggro on him. He will also spawn power sparks. These can be tracked by track elemental, and killing one of them will put a damage increasing zone under your feet. That is pretty useful during the phase 2 transition when the boss reaches 50% and he lifts off in the air. Now this is the moment to blow all cooldowns and to do as much damage as you can as Malygos, since you will have a very low DPS during phase 3. Then you will have to kill all the ads. You can step on a disc left by the ads to fly around and make sure that you're always in range of the ad you want to kill. Also, if you kill one of the spellcasters while on a disc, you'll get an achievement. During phase 3, you will battle on the back of a drake and will have a new action bar. One is a very weak attack that gives you 1 combo point, 2 a stacking DOT, and 3 a stacking heal over time effect. The rotation to DPS the boss while staying alive is 1-1-2-3. Also, if you stay in melee range, you will take a lot of damage, and he will also damage you with static fields. It is possible to entirely avoid their damage if you stand at max range and move as soon as you see him cast it. Finally, there is an achievement for killing him under 6 minutes, but you will probably need Augument gear to solo it, unless you are a TOT heroic raider. The third dragon is Onyxia. You will want to tank her in the back of the room, since she bumps your pet, and make sure not to stand behind her because her tail lash will bump you very far and probably in the eggs that are on the side. Simply moving near the eggs is enough to make webs spawn, which is bad unless you're going for the achievement. Phase 1 is a simple tank and spank that will continue until the boss hits 65%. During phase 2, she will take off. If you're going for the Many Whelps Handle It achievement, you will have to pass through the egg zone to make the whelp spawn. This will make more than 100 whelps spawn, and since the base damage of multi-shot is reduced when there are too many targets, the only way to kill them is to be in survival spec and AoE them down while letting Serpent Sting do all the work. She will also cast Deep Breaths. When she does, simply make sure you are not standing in front of her or under her. If you avoid it, then you will get an achievement. Misdirect adds to your pet while focusing on Onyxia, and once she reaches 35% health, phase 3 will begin. It's just like phase 1, except whelps sometimes spawn, and she will sometimes fear you, but simply DPS her down and she should die pretty easily. If you manage to kill her within 5 minutes, you'll also get a last achievement. Finally, there is Halion the Twilight Destroyer in the Ruby Sanctum. You can kill the mini-bosses in 10-man mode, then switch to 25-man mode for Halion if you want to. It will also clear out the trash, which is rather nice. Now, let's focus on Halion. During phase 1, you will have to watch out for his breath, for meteor strikes that fall from the sky, and from the dot he puts on you. When the dot expires, it will leave an extremely large AoE zone, so make sure you're standing at the edge of the room when the debuff ends. He also has a tail smash that will stun you, so try to avoid standing near his tail. When the boss reaches 75% health, he will open a portal in the Twilight Realm. Once you cross that portal, immediately put Halion on your pet. He will bug, and therefore his only ability will be melee your pet. However, there will be 2 Twilight orbs circling around the room, and sometimes making a beam between them that will damage you if you stand in it. When he reaches 50%, he will divide himself between the Twilight Realm and the real realm. He will also start healing himself, since there is nobody in the real realm, so Wyvern Sting can reduce healing a bit. And he will have a corporality percentage. Now, when you barely hit him, his corporality will go up. When you attack him, however, his corporality will go down. So you want to wait until he's at 100 corporality, which is plus 400% damage taken and plus 200% damage done, so make sure that you heal your pet well. And once he's reached 100% corporality, simply burst him until his corporality goes down to 90. Stop attacking him, wait for him to go back to 100 corporality, and then start again. He should die before he berserks if your DPS is high enough. So that's it for the Dragons of Wrath of the Lich King. I hope this guide has answered all of your questions, but if you have any others, just put them in the comments. And for the next guide, I'll be doing the Trial of the Grand Crusader.